Hold the phone. We got a fun one here. Want to know? Welcome back to the channel for more midweek must action. It's Ottoman time. Oh, dude, I'm enjoying Ottoman games. I can't believe it. I didn't think it would ever happen. When this Civ got nerfed in the ground and we said farewell to the Great Bombard meta, I was over the moon. I was howling at it. Someone would think I was a werewolf, but now I'm actually enjoying the return to discoverability. It's going to be an interesting game as well, considering they're up against one of the most oppressive feudal age civs in the game right now, HRE in the hands of SAS. And it is going to be a Dark Age rush. So, what's the thought process here? Is it a concern that Numidan is going to try to go for Castle Age? Because we have seen that's like a classic and really popular build. Like, Ottomans love to just rush towards the Third Age. Is it necessary here, though? I mean, because my thought process is in the current meta, we've actually seen Ottoman players feel a necessity to engage with Pro Scouts more often than not. In fairness, your spearmen are going to keep value as you age up, and this also does protect your own Pro Scouts play, because the logic here for SAS is that he will bloat more spearmen in Dark Age, and then he'll block his opponent from getting the deer shove in. So I think it can actually be worthwhile here for SAS to do this. He'll probably stop at like 4 or 5 spearmen. Don't need to go crazy here, because for Numidan, he went for the military school opening. So his is all about a slow timing to get the deer shoving. It's not about being aggressive. In fact, what I love to see from SAS, and there we go, stab the deer down. Push them further away, stab them away. Oh, and there's that link I was talking about, guys. I've got to remember to link that on the YouTubes as well, as you guys did want to help out. Remember, we're doing an awareness campaign with AMD. That's the link I said. If you guys click it, it actually helps out the channel immensely. Go learn about some awesome new graphics cards, while we try to learn some new Ottoman strats. So we are going to see him slowly moving off the gold. This is weird, though. Yeah, this is very weird. Oh, no. Numidan? He's going to build an outpost. This was an incorrect reaction from Numu. He didn't know he was getting out. He didn't know he was getting spear rushed here. He thought this was going to be a casual feudal play because he only had 2 out on the gold. So very revealing. You can even see it in the way that he scouted. He didn't check down the center whatsoever. Wow, a huge oversight. And now as a result, you're going to have to build one of the most heinous outposts. It's going to be like, what, right here near the TC range. Not a great feeling. You need to make sure that it's close enough to the TC that your opponent can't torch at you as well. So you're probably looking at about here. Or you could be very ambitious. I mean, in fairness, this many villages your opponent should be able to outburn. SAS would benefit from attacking it right now, but I think he's just trying to get the freebie of the mining camp. Damn, if SAS had an outpost coming off the back of this, this would be like curtains. I don't think he was expecting this much value out of the opening play. But it helps SAS a lot as well already. The idle time allows you to compete for the feudal. You force your opponent to invest 100 wood into a subpar outpost placement. And although you spent a lot more on your play, we talked about how this is going to be valuable in feudal anyway for the Pro Scouts follow-up. Wait, are we just giving Jiggly like credit for everything now? But we also have to give him like credit for all the failures as well. I think that's the way that works. And it is just going to be a standard Arkin. A decent placement as well. Does SAS just go for like a fast castle build off the back of this? I mean, this is a disastrous start for Numu, I'd say. His timing has been crippled pretty hard. Credit to him on the knee-jerk reaction so swiftly to minimize the damage. Like, we do have Twin Minute Register coming in now. I think Numu is going to play aggressive. And I love that. That's sick. I genuinely think like this is the way you want to play this. I've been seeing way too many Sultani trade network builds, and I think it is overrated to the extreme. I'd say at this point, it's actually costing Ottomans more losses than it's gaining them wins. Madrissa gives you presence in the age. It is ballsy to try and do this against HRE, though. As if it is infamous for being one of the most threatening of feudal age. KP always so negative? Yeah. Like, that's why I don't have, like, COVID or, like, any STDs or anything, because all my tests are negative. That's what you meant, right? Can you cheese your way through plat with HRE tower rushes? Yeah. I like, if you aren't in shambles in the way that you do outpost rushes, yes. I think you can get, like, free platinum by doing it. But, like, the thing to keep in mind that I always emphasize to people, there's a very big difference between tactic and a strategy. HRE tower rushing is a tactic. It's not a strategy. Right? You do it to achieve something. So you need to envision what you're achieving with this. So, for example, some people would actually find it much easier. I think most players would actually find it much easier to play the tower rush into Fast Castle's HRE rather than playing tower rush into feudal aggression. Even though like, at the highest level, I'd say that has a better success rate. So, deer shove in here. Sass is actually still going to be going for pro scouts. He's just made the most of the spear situation. Overall, I quite like his position in this game. Other side of it, Numu is not going to be mirroring, but he is going to be going Fast Castle. Okay. Now that does surprise me a little bit. I mean, Sass is allowing for it, right? He's kind of opened the door with the full back off. Tower rush is just a tower rush? I think that's like illy outdated. You played in 2021 and then took a break type brain though, right? Like my feeling on that type of mentality and thought process is there was a time when tower rushing would just GG the game. And it was more due to frustration and people not knowing how to play out of it. But with the way that AoE 4 has evolved, I don't feel like tower rush is just endgames much anymore. But like, I'm talking conch level. I think if you go down to, you know, gold level and plat level, most people will just call GG out of frustration. But you're kind of coin flipping, right? Because there'll also be people who will be the opposite and say, oh, dude, you've annoyed me. I'm going to play this out. Like, we've all experienced that type of gamer where you do something toxic and their reaction is, well, I'm just not going to leave. Okay, so Sass is actually going back for aggro play now. It's too late. Newman is just going to go Castle Age on his ass. I wonder if Sass needed to pro scouts this. I mean, he's eating through his food quick, right? But he's got 11 sheep and he shoved the deer in. I think there's a fair argument that, like, maybe delaying pro scouts and just going for the aggressive timing would have paid off a lot more. Newman, in the meantime, is just going to be backing off. He did go for the Imam point. But this is sick. Yeah, it's just spamming right now. You can't beat this. You need more archers. I feel as if Sass got completely bamboozled by this. So Numu, 12 to get him up into the Castle Age. Likely going to be looking at Lancer immediately. And Sass's reaction has to be Castle Age. You can't play Feudal into this now. You haven't got enough archers to dive at all. Some people still GG out when you tower rush in gold. I mean, it doesn't, like in Diamond Robber, it doesn't, like, surprise me. Some people just don't want that experience. Like, you guys have simmed me like that before. Do you remember when we played Battle Aces and I queued into, like, Vortex? And about 3 or 4 minutes into, like, him pressure playing with, like, the really cheesy wasps at the time in that game, I just surrendered and said I couldn't be asked. Like, I literally had, like, 3 games in a row where the moment I saw wasps, I just GG'd. Because it wasn't fun. Like, for some people, there's no fun in solving that problem. There's a saying that like the World of Warcraft raiders have that I love, and that saying is too many calories. The whole logic is like that will cost me way too many calories to solve. Whether it's a thought experiment or like a raw, you have to micro, macro, click, etc. Okay, so tech up's coming through now for Sass. Regnit's on the way. Map control is decent. He did actually pin Numadon back into his base. But Numu snuck out. We've already got 1 relic coming wide. And the second one won't be happening yet. Imam did already get taken out. But love the fact he went straight into Springolds. This is smart. I've seen way too many people waste time building a mango. It's not worth it, guys. 1 mango versus having 2 Springolds. I'll take 2 Springolds every day of the week. They're more mobile. They're really good against these smaller armies because there's not enough power to dive in and kill you. It's just like having 1 big fat archer. And also it kind of diversifies your investment. If you have one Mangonel versus 2 Springolds, and your opponent like just finds you slightly out of position, that Mango's going to go down. If it's double Springold, 1 Springold is likely going to survive. And this is tilling. Like, you don't want to dive this at all. Is he going to try? I don't know about that one, dog. Your goal and you play the land to see which new ways you can embarrass yourself? That's the spirit. But dude, this is why I've said I'd love to have like a 1.5 multiplier, even if it's just to watch games back. Two's sometimes too quick. But like, I feel as if I would actually go back to doing low elo casts if we had more control over the game speed. I still want to see a competitive mode where like the speed of play is 1.5 to see if it's actually good or not. So Sass does have knights coming. He's winning the relic race, actually. I don't like Numidon's approach to this. I kind of see where he's coming from. Like, you know, you're against a bunch of Marcher Drills units, you couldn't rush out. But no flank raids, no attempt to get out on the flanks whatsoever. He's just been sitting here waiting. Numu, it almost looks like he's doing a fast Imperial build, which is freaking wild. He hasn't even set up the military schools yet. Glad he's finally going back for those. Sass have 4 relics now? This man's about to have a field day. We didn't even highlight the hilarious irony of Numidon picking Ottomans against Sass. Sass is Turkish and Ottomans is like one of his favorite civs. So the fact that he got picked away from you and now is getting used against you is actually quite comical here. Am I the only one looking at this wondering how the hell Sass could ever lose? He's in a really good position. Numu, oh, he might be reinvesting here. Okay, he cancels. He did have the veterancy for Sabahi coming. I don't think you can compete quick enough by scaling Sabahi here before HRE would get Imperial. So Knights are going to have to march all the way home. We do have Janissaries now getting scaled into. Sass already has the answer with Archers coming. He's fully reinvesting, so we're not going to have any greed play from him, even though he's now got 4 relics to work with. And part of the reason is Sass doesn't have farm set up yet. That's also another reason why he's leaning into Archers, to try and circumvent the issue of the deer will not last forever. It's also just very good against Otto due to Janissary play. I am keenly concerned that Springold's going to just take a dump on him if he's not careful, though. Because some of you looking at this right now and going, KP, why would you think that Springold's going to beat mass archers? Like, they only get bonus against melee infantry. Ah, good eyeballs, astute viewer. However, interesting thought for you here. An archer has about 60% of the health of a melee unit at this stage. These are early meta arms of 120, they'll go up to 155. These spearmen have 110 health compared to 80. So, although a big chunk of the damage is locked behind being melee, even the base range damage, when you make that comparison, the fact that, like, yeah, you're losing, you know, about 40, like 50, 60% of your damage, whatever it's going to be. Sorry, 40, about 30, 40% of your damage. The fact that your opponent has that much percentage less health means you're killing them at an equal pace. Yeah, I've, like, watched so many fights where Mass Archer loses to Springold, and it's almost comical at this stage. It's not really one you'd expect. Ottomans need to get Sapahi out to pressure during feudal. It depends on your win condition. If you're going for a fast castle, you usually just kind of circumvent Sapahi altogether. But because the way Sass is like reacting to the Janissaries, you're seeing that there's a way that Sapahi can feel good again. You need to be ultra careful against HRE because of the Spearmen and Marching Drills. But once again, that's why Numidon has just had Springles toggled on in the Imperial Army the whole time. Yeah, it's kind of funny. If Springles weren't as good as they are right now, we actually might finally have a meta where more players would see the Imperial Palace as viable, the one that gives you extra Vizier points. But even with the Mango nerf, the fact that Springles actually do quite well as they bulk up here makes Mehmed Imperial Armory still too good. And I'm so annoyed about it because I was so hopeful we'd finally reached a point where there'd be a different landmark than this thing. Sadly, we have not reached that point. Sass on the approach here. We do have Inspired Warriors coming in. Has to be very, very careful about approaching these jokes. Because you're going to funnel in, and it means that the Springals are going to do maximum damage. So positioning is key here. You can't rush this. No, instead, I'd rather he focuses on the sacred sites. Sass has a very clean win condition here on the map. Doesn't need to throw it away. Numu. I mean, there is like a number in mind here. You get towards like 20-25 Sabahi, they start to become a very scary force. Especially with the way that they engage with the second line. Like, you can essentially micro to use your second line with attack speed buff. Sass getting a bit too ambitious here. Oh. Gotta be careful to pay attention. Janissaries, it's just kind of a crazy unit. You just feel quite chill, look away for a second, look back, and you're 10 cavalry down. We just have to show them so much respect. Springals. Yep, that Lance deck is definitely dead. Flash now coming in. Backstab from the cavalry. But that's a backstab on the Janissaries. And just one knight's going to be able to hold it all back. So wipes out the cavalry. Sass is losing this. Oh my god, it's such a brutal wipe. What happened to the army? I can't believe that he just went from in control to control delete in a matter of seconds.